Hi, I'm Alex Miller. I'm a fitness instructor and women's health specialist from Vancouver, Canada. Welcome to Pelvic Floor Strong, your guide to healing your pelvic floor dysfunction and diastasis recti. Marketing and society has made us believe that leaking is normal, especially if you've had children, and it's something we have to accept. However, urinary incontinence is not normal, even though it's very common as it affects 200 million people worldwide. 25 million of those people are Americans, and 75 to 80% of those are women. With correct breathing patterns and the right movements, it is possible to alleviate these symptoms. All it takes is a little bit of consistency and focus. Pelvic Floor Strong was created with exercises and informational resources that are evidence-based and trusted by doctors, midwives, and personal trainers. It has been made with love for every woman with pelvic floor dysfunction. The main goal of Pelvic Floor Strong is to provide you with the right knowledge to make baby steps towards healing your body. Please don't beat yourself up if your body doesn't respond right away. These concepts take practice. The results will follow from being consistent. Also, seeing a pelvic floor physical therapist first can also help you understand your unique body to get the most out of this program. The pelvic floor. What is the pelvic floor? The pelvic floor is like a woven basket of muscles that hold your bladder, uterus, and bowels. These muscles can become dysfunctional for a variety of reasons. However, pregnancy and hormonal changes are the most common. The pelvic floor relaxes to allow us to urinate or have a bowel movement. It contracts to stop the flow of urine, tightens the vaginal opening, or prevents us from passing stool or gas. The pelvic floor has been designed to work automatically, so most of the time, people don't have to think about it. However, when it's not doing what it should, we then have to focus on moving it for proper function. The movement of the pelvic floor is very small. It should only move millimeters when gently tightening and releasing. You can't see it, but you should be able to feel it. Whenever I tell you to lift or contract your pelvic floor, visualize lifting a marble into your rectum, lifting a blueberry into your vagina, and lifting a raisin into your urethra. When your pelvic floor is functional, you will experience no more accidental leakage, urinary fecal incontinence, control of your bladder and bowels, ease going to the restroom, improved emotional well-being, higher sexual arousal during intercourse, strong, ache-free back and hips, improved abdominal tone and posture, and core stability. When your pelvic floor is dysfunctional, you will experience accidental leakage, urinary fecal incontinence, urgency or frequency of needing to urinate, difficulty starting to pee, or you dribble after you have finished. Feels like you can't get a good contraction, or you feel weak when you try to contract. Tampons falling out, reduced sensation in the vagina, heavy pulling feeling, may feel like there's a tampon inside, pelvic organ prolapse, a distinct bulge at the vaginal opening, constipation, lower back pain, pelvic pain and/or pelvic pressure, SI joint pain and/or hip pain, pain with sex penetration, and/or sex not feeling like it used to before kids, difficulty breathing, shallow breathing. There are two types of pelvic floor dysfunction. 1, tight, overactive. 2, low tone, underactive. Is my pelvic floor overactive or underactive? An overactive pelvic floor is usually associated with people that carry more stress. The pelvic floor feels weak, and you can't get a good contraction because you're already halfway contracted. Shallow breathing, tailbone pain, jaw clenching? Do you clench or grind your jaw? Your jaw actually mimics your pelvic floor, and it is a really good indicator of what is happening down below. Underactive. A good way to tell if your pelvic floor is underactive is to look at your child labor. What type of delivery did you have? Was it long with lots of pushing? Did your pelvic floor eventually tire out and turn off? Kegels help, and your body responds well to contracting and releasing. Not necessarily weak, but there may be a connection issue. The good news? Both types of pelvic floor dysfunction respond really well to establishing a correct 360 breathing pattern, practicing correct posture, and healthy movement patterns. How to release a tight, overactive pelvic floor. You can practice these exercises daily if they make you feel great. Some women prefer to do them every second day. Hip opening squat. Find a yoga block or roll up a towel approximately 4 inches off of the floor. Rest your back against a wall as you sit on your prop. If this feels uncomfortable for your hips, try adding height to your prop. In a deep squat position, bring your knees wide, turn your toes out and your heels in. Bring your hands together in front of your chest and gently press your knees apart using your elbows. Relax your body as you focus on deep breathing. Legs up the wall. Lay on the ground with your legs up the wall. You want your hips close enough to the wall that your legs are above you, but there isn't too much stretch so that your body can fully relax. Focus on deep breathing. Let your body sink into the floor. Another variation for legs up the wall is happy baby. Draw your knees into your chest as you reach for the outer edges or inner edges of your feet. Point your toes down to the ground and your heels up to the sky. Wishbone stretch. Extend your legs up to the sky. Cross your thighs, one over the other. Bend your knees, pick up your head, and reach for your ankles. Lower your head back down. You have the option of resting your head on a pillow for more comfort. Squeeze your inner thighs together as you actively pull your feet apart from each other. Hold and breathe for 30 seconds, focusing on inhaling. What is a Kegel? In 1950, Arnold Kegel, a gynecologist from the University of Southern California, recommended strengthening for the pelvic floor. It is a repetitive exercise of squeezing and holding your pelvic muscles for 3 to 10 seconds, followed by releasing and relaxing the muscles. How to do a proper Kegel. Start by sitting or standing tall in a neutral spine. Inhale, relax your pelvic floor. Exhale, visualize lifting a marble into your rectum, lifting a blueberry into your vagina, and lifting a raisin into your urethra. Hold, then let it go as you inhale. Repeat, keeping your abdominals, inner thighs, and bum relaxed. Here's a tip. Some women like to say a mantra when their bladders are full and they really need to go. It keeps them from panicking and then leaking. It can sound a bit silly, but it actually stops us from panicking and instead helps us focus on something else. I will not pee until I'm on the toilet. I do not need to feel panicked. I can make it. 360 breathing. What is 360 breathing? Life gets busy. It's very common to forget about your breath with so many other things going on in your day. What tends to happen is people end up solely breathing into their chest, known as shallow breathing. I like to refer to correct breathing as 360 breathing, which refers to not only breathing into your belly, but also into your sides and back. This turns on your body's natural relaxing hormones, known as your parasympathetic nervous system. It also supports your brain's connection to your pelvic floor and core. How to 360 breathe. Sit, stand, or lay down in a neutral spine. Inhale through your nose, relax your pelvic floor. As you breathe into the base of your pelvis, the front, sides, and back of your abdominals. Exhale out of your mouth, create a shushing sound like shh. Focus on lifting your pelvic floor like you're doing a Kegel, drawing your abdominals in. Repeat. Practice 360 breathing as often as possible, and in time, it will become a healthy habit. This includes every time you have a bowel movement or urinate. The core. Your core is an abdominal canister. The top is your diaphragm, which are your breathing muscles. Your abdominal wall are the sides, and the bottom is your pelvic floor. When you inhale, your diaphragm presses down, which pushes out on your abdominal wall and down on your pelvic floor. Everything descends down to create space. This should relax your pelvic floor. When you exhale, your diaphragm coils back up, your abdominal wall goes back in, and your pelvic floor lifts back up. This should contract your pelvic floor. Intra-abdominal pressure. Your abdominal canister creates a pressure system called your intra-abdominal pressure. If you notice whenever you exert yourself to move something heavy, you naturally exhale to create more strength and pressure. This is the pressure your body uses whenever you go to the washroom or move a heavy couch. A cough is a quick burst of intra-abdominal pressure and should force air upwards. However, we often cough downwards, which puts unnecessary pressure down on the pelvic floor. Engaging your core. Have you ever been told to engage your core, but you don't know what that means exactly? You're not alone. Engaging or activating your core is an often misunderstood term, and it's very common for women and men to suck in their bellies instead, which is incorrect. Your transversus abdominis, I will be referring to as TA, is the deepest layer in your abdominal wall. It acts like a corset that wraps around your waist. When I tell you to draw your abdominals in or engage your core, I want you to picture your TA drawing in and up as your corset pulls tighter. Front, sides, and back. Follow these steps to learn how to engage your core. Find your neutral spine. Inhale into the front, sides, back of your abdominal wall, and down into your pelvic floor. Exhale through effort, making a loud shh sound out of your mouth. Find a Kegel. Contract your abdominals by cinching your corset, TA, from the middle of your six-pack abdominals, all the way up around your spine. If your pelvic floor is tight, don't worry about lifting and squeezing it. You'll want to put a much greater emphasis on inhaling and relaxing your pelvic floor. With activities that require more effort, such as picking up your child, laundry basket, groceries, or objects off of the floor, see if you can inhale before you make the movement, then exhale as you contract your pelvic floor and lift the object. Posture. There are two specific postures I often see in women with pelvic floor dysfunction and diastasis recti. Both of these incorrect postures create an obstruction from top to bottom in the abdominal canister, as the pathway is no longer smooth and clear. The pelvic floor and diaphragm move up and down in sync with each other. When your posture is poor, the pelvic floor and diaphragm lose their connection. This causes weakness in your abdominal canister and in your intra-abdominal pressure. When your body is in better alignment, it allows for the correct muscles to fire, including the diaphragm, breathing muscles, and pelvic floor. Here are the two different incorrect, yet common postures. Posterior pelvic tilt, tucking your pelvis and clenching your bum. Anterior pelvic tilt, sticking your bum out. Finding your neutral spine. By maintaining a neutral spine, you'll allow for a seamless path between the top and bottom parts of your abdominal canister. This creates easy breathing and a good foundation for healing in your body, repairing your pelvic floor and core. When standing in a neutral spine, try to keep equal weight through both of your feet and a slight bend in your knees. Not only will you use 30% more of your muscles, which boosts your metabolism, but your joints, pelvic floor, and core will thank you for it. Here's how you can find your neutral spine. It can be found easily laying down or standing. Place the heels of your hands on your hip bones, the bony landmarks located at the front of your hips. Place your fingertips on your pubic bone. Stick your bottom out. Notice how your pubic bone goes further in from your hip bones. Now, try tucking your bottom under. Notice how your pubic bone sticks out further than your hip bones. If you're laying down, try imprinting your spine to the floor. Now, find the perfect spot where your hip bones and pubic bone are in perfect alignment. That is your neutral spine. Everyone's will look a little bit different. Tight pecs. Your pecs run across your chest and attach to your shoulders. When they get too tight, they pull our shoulders forward, causing our posture to round forward, known as hunched forward posture. This posture makes our breath shallow because it condenses and squishes our breathing muscles, our diaphragm. And as I mentioned earlier, without deep breathing, our abdominal canister becomes weak and dysfunctional because the diaphragm no longer connects well to the abdominal wall and pelvic floor. It's like trying to drive a car with only 3 wheels. It doesn't work well. Try this with me. Slouch in your chair with your shoulders rounded forward. Now try to take a deep breath. You'll notice you can't get a deep breath. Now try it sitting straight up with your shoulders back. You'll notice you can get a deeper breath. Pec stretches. By simply doing a variation of the following pec stretches every evening before bed, not only can you heal your shoulder pain, but it will leave you with beautiful posture to create natural deep breathing patterns, which supports the healing process of your pelvic floor and diastasis recti. Make sure to never stretch to the point of pain. Standing chest expansion. Stand with your feet hip distance apart and a soft bend in your knees. Interweave your fingers together behind your tailbone. If your pecs are too tight to weave your fingers together, use a hand towel to make up for the distance. Reach your hands away from your bum as you open your chest out and up. The further you draw your clasped hands away from your tailbone, the greater the intensity. Hold for 20 to 30 seconds. Elbow wrap stretch. Sit cross-legged on the floor or stand with both feet firmly planted on the floor. Bring your arms behind your back and clasp each hand around the opposite elbow or forearm. Hold for 20 to 30 seconds. Focus on lifting your collarbones and squeezing your shoulder blades together. Back bend stretch. Sit or stand and bring your hands to the back of your head. Point your elbows to the side of the room. Allow your head to fall back into your hands as you open your chest and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Hold for 20 to 30 seconds. Wall stretch. Stand against the outer corner of a room or in a doorway. Bend your right elbow to a 90-degree angle. Your upper arm should be parallel to the floor at shoulder height. Place your right forearm against the corner of the wall with the left side of your body open to the room. Very gently press into your right forearm to feel a stretch in your pec. Hold for 20 to 30 seconds. Repeat on the other side. Diastasis recti. What is diastasis recti? Diastasis recti in women is a separation of your middle abdominal muscles. Diastasis means separation, and recti is your middle abdominal muscles, called your rectus abdominis. Your linea alba, the tissues between your abdominals, become very thin and can create either a dome, coning, or gap on your belly. This can happen at the top of your abdominals, the bottom, or sometimes the entire thing. Diastasis recti is commonly caused by the expansion of the abdomen for various reasons, including pregnancy and weight gain. Whenever you sit up or add pressure to your core, watch for doming. Take your time and keep your core engaged. Why is diastasis recti problematic? Not only will diastasis recti make it hard for you to engage your abdominals, but it will also affect the relationship between your diaphragm and pelvic floor. When your abdominals are weak or unable to engage properly, it will cause weakness in your abdominal canister and your intra-abdominal pressure system. Many women experience symptoms such as chronic abdominal pain, back pain, pelvis instability, and groin pain. How to check for diastasis recti? Number 1. Halfway between your breastbone and belly button. Find your belly button and your rib cage. Pick your head up. If you feel a gap, how wide is your gap? Do your fingers squish in? Number 2. Right above your belly button. Pick up your head. Feel here. Is there any gap? How far do your fingers go in? How many fingers wide is it? 2.5 fingers or less is technically not a diastasis. We are looking for firmness. I have had people close their 2.5 finger gap, but it's not necessarily for function. Number 3, halfway between your belly button and pubic bone. Pick up your head. Is it firm or is it soft and squishy? Improving diastasis recti. To heal diastasis recti, you'll want to start by reducing any pressure on your abdominals. The following exercises are considered diastasis unsafe in the beginning. Any front-loading movements such as front planks, push-ups, V-sits, rolling like a ball, burpees, pikes on a ball, ab rollouts, crunches, or sit-ups. However, this doesn't mean you can't slowly begin to intensify the abdominal load as you get stronger. You will eventually progress to the point where you can handle these front-loading movements, because they will become safe as your body gets stronger. 3-step movement sequence. These 3 exercises can be practiced anywhere from daily to 3 to 4 times per week. I specifically designed this movement sequence to support a well-functioning pelvic floor and core. Bye-bye diastasis recti. Exercise 1. 1 minute. Standing core connection. Stand with your feet slightly wider than shoulder width in a neutral spine. Inhale, relax your pelvic floor. Fill your belly, front, sides, and back with air while relaxing your body. Exhale, find a Kegel, gently lift and squeeze your pelvic floor. Inhale, relax. Repeat. Exercise 2. 1 minute. Chair squats. Stand with your feet slightly wider than shoulder width. Inhale, relax your pelvic floor. Bend your knees as you slowly lower your bum towards the chair. Widen through your sit bones while keeping your big toes pressing down into the ground. Hold 1 inch off the chair for 2 seconds. Exhale, find a Kegel, lift your pelvic floor, return back to standing tall as you squeeze your bum at the top. Repeat. Exercise 3, 1 minute. Dead bug. Lie on your back, find your neutral spine. Slide your toes in towards your bottom and float your feet so that they're the same height as your knees. Reach your arms straight up to the ceiling. Maintaining tension in your core, inhale as you extend an arm overhead and the same leg down towards the ground. Exhale, find a Kegel, lift your pelvic floor as you return back to your starting position. Continue to alternate sides. Three daily steps. Step 1, 360 breathing. Step 2, 3-step movement sequence. Step 3, really good posture. That was your informational video. If you have any questions at all, please let us know. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you soon.